Hey there, welcome to ProTech. Today's video comes to us from 5 Star Automotive Specialists in Southbridge, Massachusetts. Let's take a look as they cover how to properly clean a caliper bracket during a brake job and why it's important to not overlook this step.
One of the biggest tech tips, I suppose, that I could give you that a lot of people forget about is proper cleaning of the caliper bracket, especially in salt belt areas. The caliper bracket on the bottom side, specifically right where the shims sit, right where the brake pad sits in there, this rust will build up underneath your brake pad shim, and what happens is it causes rust jack, and the brake pad will actually get stuck in the bracket. You will apply the brakes and it will get stuck applied, and you end up with uneven wear and brake pads that wear prematurely. You shouldn't have to hammer your pads into the bracket, basically. In order to remove that, I like to use a needle scaler. Do is you have your own anti-seize or your own moly lube instead of that. Obviously you're not going to be able to accomplish this with your little packet that they give you in the brake pads, but I like to put a light coating directly onto the metal bracket, just where the brake pad would sit under the shim, light coating, and then put your shim on. And from my experience, it helps prevent that whole situation. The next time around, it goes a lot smoother. There's not enough metal to descale. And of course, our slides. Make sure your rubber bushings aren't torn, allowing water in. These slides should move freely. Nice and smooth, and not have to be forced down into the hole. Sometimes if your slide has a rubber on it, you might experience putting too much grease on it, which actually puts it into a hydraulic lock kind of inside of the bracket and doesn't allow you to physically push the slide all the way in, which actually can cause a situation when you try to assemble the brakes and use the brakes. You can actually end up with uneven pad wear because there's actually pressure buildup in here applying the brake. So you want to make sure you use enough but not too much. And last but not least, we install our nice fresh retaining clips. These particular ones can go on anyway. Always pay attention to the orientation if they come off separately, like in 2 individual pieces. There's a specific left and a right, sometimes even a top and a bottom. So pay attention to if you have different clips. If they're all the same, you're good to go. Boom. Also, when I assemble the brakes, I don't really like to load the caliper bracket up with too much grease, and I also don't like to load the pad up with too much grease. What I'll usually do is just put a slight amount of grease on each tab here to prevent dirt and dust from sticking to the top side of here when it's not in use or driving. And also on the caliper itself, I will put some lube on the caliper where it contacts on the pad. Not much, just a little, and a little bit on the piston. Like prevent any noises or squeaks when it's applied. Sometimes you get the squeak every time you step on it. You don't want that. I'd say it was probably time. Smoked!